It always starts the same way. Midnight. My room, dimly lit by the faint blue of my screen. Sheets tangled around my legs, my camisole clinging slightly to my skin from the heat trapped beneath it. The city outside is silent, but inside me, there's a kind of static. A charge that won't settle. My body is heavy with exhaustion, but my mind is sparking. Restless. It doesn't want peace. It wants chaos. Intimate, messy chaos. My phone is already in my hand. My thumb is hovering. I know where I'm going. I shouldn't. But I do. It's not Tinder. Not Instagram. Not even Reddit. It's darker than that. Not illegal. Just morally blurred. The kind of place polite people pretend doesn't exist, but sneak into when the world has stopped watching. An old-school chat room. One of those unfiltered ones that still look like they were made in 2004. Simple interface. No profile pics. Just usernames and hunger. That's what excites me. The anonymity. The danger of the unknown. The fact that I could be talking to a stranger halfway across the world. Or someone 2 blocks away. I log in. I don't even have to type anymore. The URL is burned into my muscle memory. There's a certain thrill when the page loads. Like opening the door to a secret room in my own house. I feel it in my chest first, a tightness, a flutter. Then lower, a warmth that spreads slowly, teasingly. My legs shift. My fingers flex. I don't go there to flirt. Not really. I go there to provoke. Not them. Me. Each message I send is like lighting a match and holding it close to my skin. I want to see how close I can get without burning. I want the friction. The tension. The edge. So I pick someone. A username that sounds confident but not too polished. One that might belong to a real person. I send the first message. Just 4 words. Want to play a game? I wait. My breath is shallow. I can hear my heartbeat, loud and steady. There's a thrill in the silence. In knowing they've seen it. In imagining their pause. And when the reply finally comes, what kind of game? I smile. The kind that doesn't need rules. The kind where I'm already wet before the first move is made. I never dive in. That would be too easy. Too quick. And quick isn't what I'm here for. I want the build. The tension. The slow unraveling of someone who thinks they're in control until they're not. I type, have you ever told a girl about your fantasies? Then I wait. That's the first hook. Innocent enough to slip under the radar. Dangerous enough to light a spark. He hesitates. I can almost feel it, his breath catching, his fingers hovering above the keyboard. The little indicator flashes, typing, deleting, typing again. That's what I love. The dance. The stutter before surrender. He replies, not really. Maybe once or twice. Why? I shift under the covers. The warmth between my thighs isn't demanding yet, it's humming. Waiting. Feeding off the control I still have. Because I write, I think about mine all the time. And I wonder how it would sound hearing yours whispered in my ear. The moment I press send, I feel it. My nipples tighten against the fabric of my top. The air suddenly cooler, or maybe my body just hotter. I press my knees together, not to stop the feeling, but to hold it, cradle it. He responds slower this time. Sometimes I imagine tying her hands. Not rough. Just enough to make her breath catch. God. My fingers tremble. Would you tell me that, I ask, if I was sitting beside you in the dark? Would you look at me while you said it? Or close your eyes and imagine it instead? I don't need his answer to feel the weight of his presence beside me. My eyes flutter shut. I imagine it, his voice low, close. His breath brushing my neck. The suggestion of his hands not touching yet, just hovering. This is what I crave. Not the act. The anticipation. The moment before. When everything is still unsaid, but every nerve is already listening. His answer doesn't come quickly. And that's what makes it better. While I wait, I let the silence stretch. Let it press against me like warm water around skin. I close my eyes and let the images fill the space where his words should be. Then the message appears. I'd look straight at you. So you'd know I meant every word. So you wouldn't be able to pretend you weren't already imagining it too. I inhale sharply. It's like he reached through the screen and touched something private. Something raw. A place not even I was sure I wanted anyone to see. And what would you do next? I type, my hands barely steady. He doesn't make me wait this time. I'd lean in. Close enough that my breath moved the hair near your ear. I'd whisper it. All of it. Slowly. Watching you squirm just a little. A flush rises to my cheeks. My neck. My chest. It's not just arousal. It's exposure. It's being seen, felt, teased open. I imagine myself there, lying on my stomach, face turned toward him, the screen gone. The room quiet except for his voice, that low timbre threading through me. His hands move in my mind's eye, down the curve of my back, stopping just above the edge of my panties. Not touching skin. Just there. Threatening. Promising. I graze my own thigh with my fingertips, mimicking the path I think he'd take. Just a whisper of pressure. Just enough to keep me trembling. Would you let me take off everything you're wearing, he writes. My response comes easily, like breath. Only if you do it silently. With your eyes. With your hands. Without a word. And I mean it. Words have done enough. I want silence now. The kind that speaks through movement. Through tension. Through the pause before a touch lands. In that moment, I feel everything tighten. My breath. My thighs. My thoughts. I don't know his face. But I know the way he makes me feel. Like he owns the rhythm of my body tonight. The conversation slows, but nothing about me does. We aren't typing as fast now. The words have softened, become slower, deliberate. I imagine we're both laying still, devices balanced on our chests, the glow of the screen casting pale light on flesh skin. He writes, tell me what you're doing right now. Not just with your body, your mind too. I bite my lower lip, my breath catching in my throat. I want to answer honestly. Not just the obvious truth, but the deeper one. The one I barely admit to myself. I'm breathing in images. Letting your voice play out in my head like a song I only listen to in the dark. My thighs are pressed together. My fingers are on my stomach, but they want to wander. I'm trying not to move too fast. I want to stay here. In this ache. There is a long pause. I know he's reading it slowly, maybe more than once. I hope he is. I hope my words seep under his skin like they do mine. He responds with just one line. God, you're dangerous. I close my eyes and smile, not out of pride, but recognition. Because I know. I've always known that my desire doesn't come from touch. It comes from language. From suggestion. From control. It's not about watching someone fall, it's about leading them there. One whisper at a time. I let my hand drift lower, still outside the fabric, letting my own tension build until it's a pulse in my ears. Not to finish anything. Just to feel. To listen to my body as it responds to a stranger's hunger. His next message is softer. Do you feel beautiful when you do this? Or do you feel wicked? I type back. Both. Isn't that the point? He sends a photo. Not of himself. Just his hand, resting palm up on what looks like a gray sheet. His fingers slightly curled. Strong. Waiting. It wrecks me. Not because it's graphic. Because it's restrained. Because I want to reach through the screen and place my wrist into that waiting hand. To surrender, just for a moment, and let myself be held. I don't reply for a while. Not because I don't know what to say. But because I want to live in the ache a little longer. Let the image of his hand imprint itself on my body. Let the absence of words become part of the seduction. The tension has shifted. It's not sharp anymore. It's slow molten. Like warm honey sliding over every nerve. When I finally type, my fingers move with purpose. I keep thinking about your palm. How it looked so open. Like it could hold something fragile. Or something wild. He answers, which one are you? I close my eyes. I don't want to choose. I want to be both. Tonight? Wild. Tomorrow? Maybe breakable. I can feel the smile behind his next words. Good. I like things that shift. That change depending on how you touch them. God. That line hits something deep. Something I don't have words for. I push the blanket down to my hips. My skin feels feverish. I run my fingertips over my collarbone, down the center of my chest, not to arouse, just to connect. To remind myself that I am here. Alive. Feeling all of this. If you were here, I write, would you touch me like I was a secret? Or like I was already yours? He doesn't answer for a long time. And the waiting, it undoes me. Finally. I'd touch you like a question I've waited my whole life to ask. And you'd answer with every breath. I feel my throat tighten. This isn't just play anymore. It's poetry in disguise. A confession dressed as flirtation. I type, are you hard right now? It's blunt. But real. I want the intimacy of truth. He says, yes. But it's not just because of you. It's because I know you feel the same. That you're aching too. That makes it deeper. I blink. Swallow. And I realize he's right. It's not just desire. It's reflection. We're mirrors, showing each other what we won't admit out loud. I don't remember when I stopped caring who he was. Not his name. Not his face. Not even his voice. It's strange how someone can become so vivid in your body without ever entering your life, without ever walking through your door. But I know him. In this specific electric way. Our words slow. Not because we've lost interest, but because we've reached the edge. The cliff where fantasy and confession blur. Where pretending becomes revealing. He types. I want you to fall asleep to the sound of your own breath, still catching because of me. I press the phone tighter to my chest. My heart flutters. He says the kind of things no one ever dares say out loud in the light of day. I tell him, I want to wake up with the memory of your hand between my thighs, even if it was only ever imagined. I'm not even sure who I am when I write that, but I know she's honest. She's not performing. She's just unfiltered. And then he asks, can I tell you something I've never told anyone? My fingers hesitate. Then yes. Anything. He writes, I used to think I was addicted to porn, but now I think I was just lonely. What I needed wasn't release, it was connection. This. You. Your words. Something tightens in my chest. I close my eyes, and in the quiet I feel tears well up. Not sadness. Not exactly. It's that feeling of being seen in a place you didn't expect to be touched. Of realizing that under all the heat and tension, we are two people just craving closeness. Honest closeness. Me too, I write. I thought I was chasing arousal, but I think I was chasing electricity. Someone to make me feel alive again. There is no more game. No more teasing. Just this unbearable intimacy between two strangers who accidentally touched each other's truths. We stop writing. Not out of awkwardness, but because nothing else needs to be said. I set my phone down beside me. My body is humming, aching, warm. But more than anything, it feels known that I didn't fall asleep right away. I stayed in that space between wakefulness and dreaming, where the body floats and the mind replays everything on a loop. His words. My reactions. The invisible thread that stretched between us, humming like tension on a violin string. I turned off my screen but kept the room dark. I didn't need light. My skin was still buzzing, still holding heat from a man I'd never touched. And somehow I didn't feel alone. There was no goodbye. No see you tomorrow or fake promise to talk again. We both knew that would ruin it. The beauty of it was in the moment. In the silence after everything had been said. I curled onto my side, pulled the blanket over my hips, and let my hand rest on my stomach. The way it rose and fell felt different now. Slower. Like something inside me had been released but not emptied. More like reawakened. I didn't climax. Not physically, but something in me did. Something that had been numb for a while. Dormant. Quiet. Desire, yes. But also this strange, tender connection to myself. To my body. To my need for words, for gaze. For a stranger to tell me I was dangerous and beautiful and not alone in my hunger. And maybe that's what excites me most. Not the chat rooms. Not the sex talk. Not even the tension. But the ritual. The way I undress in front of no one. The way I write my body into existence. The way I seduce with language and come undone with silence. Because in those moments I'm not waiting to be touched. I'm touching something deeper. And tomorrow night when the world is quiet again I will go back. Not out of loneliness. Not even out of desire. But because in that strange flickering space between messages and moans, I feel like the most honest version of myself. Not touched. Not taken. Just seen.